And we're not just allowing, the change is that it won't just be the clerk that makes the decision, it's the clerk plus 2 members of the council. Yep.
Can I point out what the monitoring officer said about that? I'm not saying it because it could be against me or anybody in this room, but this council cannot make any sanction against any member. If a member sends abusive email, then it has to go to the monitoring officer to make a decision. No councillors in this room can make a decision that affects any other member. No, the clerk can't either. And that comes under that High Court case, which I can't remember the name.
It's not sanctioned. It's not sanctioned, it's
administrative action. But even administrative action, where you fall foul is that court case that happened last year.
We would have spoken to the monitoring officer.
Okay,
George.
But then they cannot put councillors making that decision. Councillors are not allowed to make a decision on it.
I thought about this one a great deal, and I think this is a very contentious issue. And I think if we were going to have a policy around it, I think it needs to be far more robust than what is here. Because if we're dealing with something where somebody is already being contentious, then they're going to question the ruling. And the ruling leaves lots of questions open to me that what is the definition of abusive? Does this relate to abusive language or abusive message content? Repeat offences, how many times and over what period of time period constitutes a repeat offence? And the other thing is that if we have an issue arising in a council between 2 people who are not getting on, what we don't want is to escalate that into the workings of the council. And I think by trying to involve other councils, I think that would escalate it. The other thing about the definition here is who gets to choose the councillors? I mean, this whole thing I think is set up to cause more. I understand the reasoning, but I think it's set up to cause more issues than it actually will solve. And we have access to a qualified, impartial adjudicator in the monitoring office. And I think if we have an issue, I think that's where it should go, and it should stay out of the council. I did think about it a great deal.
I think you are right. Yes, and at the end of the day, we just want to stop anybody using abusive language to another member by the council email. That's all.
I agree with
I understand.
I don't see how
I understand exactly what you're saying. We were trying not to be too heavy-handed, and it was. It is a tricky one. We will take any advice from members. I mean, at the end of the day, we're making a proposal. If you want to amend something, that's we're happy.
My observation on this is that, I mean, partly with Joy, I agree with what you're saying there, Joy, is that it has to be very robust, and probably there's more to this than meets the eye. I believe also that putting councillors using abusive language is not adequate, so it should be abusive, insulting and intimidatory. Because what it is it's not just somebody calling somebody. People say things in the heat of the moment, and apparently that is meant to be agreeable or acceptable to the monitoring officer. Because in council life or public life, somebody can say something, "Oh, you're a blithering idiot," and immediately, "Oh, I didn't mean that, I just said it in the heat of the moment." So the monitoring officer will dismiss it to that point. If somebody at every meeting turns around and says, "You're a liar, you're breaking the law, you're useless," then it goes from being, So, in essence, I think that the council should look to adopt something this evening based on the fact that, yes, these are administrative actions where the clerk can go, actually, this is paramount to intimidation and bullying of other councillors by being just insulting or abusive language towards them, and that is unacceptable. I mean, I've already I've laid my stall out this year, as you're aware, or some of you are aware, at my civic event, where this year, zero tolerance on it. I will not tolerate any abusive, insulting, bullying, harassment from anybody. We've been having it from some other people from other councils, haven't we? Only today, funnily enough, where we've actually having to meet them with a wall of silence. It's not just about in our own house saying it's not acceptable. We are now going to block your email for a month because your behaviour does not meet the known principles. But if people from outside, and that's members of the public, send in an email, it's just a rant, just an abusive, insulting email with no real meat on the bones about any legitimate complaint or issue, they will be met with silence. There's no way that this council for too long has been subject to people within the community and within this council who have used the Freedom of Speech Act as an excuse to abuse and bully. And enough is enough. And I have laid it down this year that it's not going to happen at all. And people over talking the chairman is an example of that, Councillor Brooks, so please do not do
Do you
that.
remember that time when you said you were going to punch people in the effing face over the phone? That's the sort of thing that's unacceptable.
So
the chairman did.
So what we're going to do now is that we're going to vote on this piece here. Thank you, Councillor Skipworth. This particular one, 35 email accounts.
Oh.
Does anybody want to propose adding anything in there? Councillor Skipworth, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted
Shoot.
to say something. That's one thing that has appalled me while I've been on the council. I haven't been here as long as some people. I think we joined about the same time, didn't we? But I was appalled right from the start at the name calling and the derogatory remarks that were sent across. And I just am so appalled that that's one of the reasons, but not the main reason, why I'm not going to stand anymore. Because I can't believe that people that are supposedly town councillors can actually say and think the thoughts that are said on some of these messages.
Joy, you want to amend?
Sorry?
Do you want to amend something?
No, I would vote against it. I think it's not, I think there's nowhere near enough robustness in it. And if it's not robust, then we should not do this.
We're just going to see.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, well, perhaps what we could do also, Chairman, is if we agree this with the additional word you've said,
What, insulting?
Abusive, intimidating, insulting, bullying.
and then Joy, to help you, that we will review this, that the council reviews this, at the earliest possible time after the election, so that it will come back again. We can have another look at it and probably put a working group together to look at it.
I think it will cause far more trouble than good.
But you haven't read some of the emails.
Right, okay. All right, let's. Right.
I mean, would it help you if we
You're
took
talking
out
about
the other took out two councillors, so the clerk was the one that would make that decision, and then she would report it to the correct.
No, I think anything that has to be decided should go to the qualified, impartial adjudicator of the monitoring officer.
And that's what the monitoring officer
And
said.
that's what he's
Right.
for. And that keeps
Well,
it out of the council.
we've got your opinion. We've got your opinion. What proposal are you putting on the table, Councillor Romney, that this is adopted?
Yeah, we adopt it as
read, with the additional words of using it consulting
is carried out.
Proposal by Councillor Romney, seconded by Councillor. Anybody want to second that?
I'm not getting it to what we're actually doing.
No,
Sorry,
no,
we're
no.
going to revise it.
35. We'll add this into the email.
This
orders.
Am I on the right page?
Email.
I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Well, I don't know where I am. I get very confused.
It's
Contract with dinner, that's what it is.
It's revised standing order.
I will not put it in there.
Okay. And it's this
No, that one, this one.
So,
I know what you can't.
so Chairman, so from tomorrow then I can get all the emails that I've received from members and I don't want to look at Anne because she's never said anything bad, but like we had one minuted when I did a thing against your position, so we can bring them and have those people's accounts suspended.
This is when it's adopted. This is not retrospective, so no.
No,
Right,
that's fine.
Councillor
That's fine.
David
So when
Romney, he
things like
proposed.
past
Are you
mentioned,
going to
it's
be
not
quiet,
right.
please, Councillor Brooks? Right, Councillor Romney proposed that this is adopted, that it's had the additional words of insulting.
Abusive, intimidation, insulting, and bullying.
Right.
Remove the two councillors.
Remove the two councillors.
Two councillors, okay.
And then he said they would review it in the new year after May.
Are you putting the monitoring
Are you
officer?
doing the monitoring?
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
And he's going to review it and bounce it off the monitoring officer.
Sorry, Chairman, there's another point here because under GDPR, councillors are not allowed to conduct any business outside of council emails, so I think you need to look at the
Well,
legality.
you're the only one that does that anyway.
Sorry?
You're the only one that does that, aren't you?
No, I'm saying that if you take away a councillor's, and I'm not looking at me, an email account, then they can't function. And that has been told to me by them.
Telephone and written letters, which is what it's been in the past. So anyway, we've got a proposal on the table by Councillor Romney, seconded by Councillor Wadsworth. All those in favour, show their hands. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those against? 2. Minutes. Right, okay.
Hopefully
So,
when it's reviewed by
36 then is
council,
the
it'll all be
office
changed.
access in brackets new.
Yeah.
You can
Again, this was one of those things that was not written down. When I first joined the council, the rules were that you don't go into the office, blah, 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 but it was never actually put into standing orders. So,
I don't remember it.
with us changing over, getting to that point, and as I say, we're trying to get things into order, so we just thought it would be right to put this into standing orders, basically. I appreciate that members have papers accessible, and with all due respect, we all have paperwork. I mean, I keep all of my papers at home, so I can go back and read them. That's my library, and that's what we need to do. Members don't need to go into the office, and the counter, I understand the counter door was changed, so that if you are invited into the office if that's what the clerk wants you to do. Because we have cut down on the hours of the assistant, we felt that booking an appointment, if you wish, to sit and talk to the clerk, even I have to do that, even the chairman has to do that. We always make sure the clerk is available. Was no problem. Accessing papers, the reason we put that in was that if you want to come into the office to look at papers, if you can let the clerk know, or the assistant knows, they can get the papers ready for you in here. You can sit and browse them at your leisure. The staff can still get on with their business, which is what they're being paid for. Sensitive papers, we felt that contracts, leases and financial papers should only be limited to working groups, because, to be honest with you, why do you want to review a lease if you didn't have a particular reason to? And council should treat all papers as being confidential, which only came out as actually in the Code of Conduct. It says exactly the same. We're all supposed to be abiding by the Code of Conduct. So what we've done is brought this over to standing orders, because everybody will sit and read the standing orders. You might not go through every other document, so we're trying to keep everything together. So that's what we've come up on that one, Chairman, and obviously we're happy with those, and we would move them.
Okay, so we're still on agenda item 13. We're on the bit which is 36 onwards. So I'll start with Martin, and then we'll work out to Joy, and then.
I don't have any objection to most of what's on there, but what I find that's been interesting is how some members have been treated unfairly. I.e., others have been allowed to come and go as they want, and others, it's not been an issue recently with me myself, because I haven't needed anything, because I've basically given up. I don't care that it's on the camera, because if you ask for things in the past, you were told you can't have it, and that was the fault of previous chairmen. But I would like, if this is put in here, I understand, if I want something from Alison, I will always send an email. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I just turn up at the door and say, Alison, can I have this now? So there needs to be a little bit of control, but also fairness. If some people are going to be let in with their partners, friends, or whatever, then everybody should be allowed to. But personally, I feel it's too small in there, and I don't like the idea of discussing council business as a councillor, which is basically in the street there. I think it should be that councillors come in here to discuss with the clerk. Because if we go to Rutland County Council, we don't go in the Chief Executive's office, we don't go in whoever's office, we sit in a room that's dedicated to meet a councillor, a member of the public, or whatever. So that's what I would like to see, that it's not seen as a barrier. Because the door was put there not only because it was a negative time of the council, it's put there to protect from members of the public who might be aggressive or unruly towards the staff because they're on their own. So I don't object to it, but I don't want to keep repeating because the chairman will tell me off.
No.
But I was concerned about not being allowed to remove papers from the office, because any councillor can ask to see anything at any time. No, if it relates to their work, and this is where I was listening today. And yes, if you're on the working group for a certain thing, we should have had copies of the lease. We shouldn't have been needed to us. We should have been given them as part of that working group, because you can't make decisions on what happens in the future if you don't know what's existing. So that's what I object to, the wording that papers can't
out of that. Yeah, sorry, I'll pick that up in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
And then there's, yes, fair enough, access to sensitive papers, contracts and leases, that falls within the need to know.
Yes.
That is the law, the need to know, because I looked into this. You can't go around, as the word is used, fishing. But there is a time when we can come in and fish, and I mentioned that in the email today, and that's when the notice goes up, and we can do it as residents. We can ask to see every single receipt, invoice, whatever. That's another matter, and we can ask for copies. So by saying that you can't remove is an issue. The other thing, F, the new one, I think is a bit daft. Sorry to use what some might consider offensive language, but daft, but it is blunt, because it's nonsense. If a document's to be confidential, it's supposed to be on red paper. If I get this, and I was interested or had residents interested in things about bus stops, I would need to talk to them about this before the meeting. So it's not really good to, I mean, it's published on the website as well, so it looks a bit silly. So if that could be changed, if there's obviously, it's a mistake in the code of conduct existing, then I have no problems supporting the other things, and if there's a bit more looking at where people meet with the car.
Right, Councillor Clough.
Thank you.
Okay, the two same ones as I'm concerned as well is the access to sensitive papers. If there's a working group or committee meeting, can we please have added into here that they can request copies of things? When we had the recent Willowbrook meeting, Anne was upset that I had taken a copy, written and typed out a copy of the lease because she said she didn't have one. When we first started with the Willowbrook, I came in and I looked at everything and I typed copies up of the things that I thought would be useful. But maybe if we're having a working group, it would be good for those copies to be given to everybody rather than leave it for each individual person to go and do it for themselves. But the fact that I went and did it, and I had a copy, upset Anne because she thought she should have had a copy, but maybe the clerk should have provided it for all of us rather than leaving it for us by themselves. The other one again is F. I don't think this is legal. It is a legal requirement that transparency, it's in your code, it's in your thing, that all items that go on the agenda are on the website, they're there for public discussion. There's no way, unless it's a confidential item with this red top on it, that it can be...
Treat appropriate papers as confidential, maybe.
Well, I think that maybe it should be that all confidential papers should be marked with a red topping sheet so that people are aware they're confidential and that they should be kept confidential. But all other documents are public documents. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Is it Jean now?
Call them out. What?
No, I was thinking on another line about confidentiality. Sometimes outside working groups send you papers. Don't say it's confidential, don't discuss in public what you think. I think they should give you some indication.
Okay. I think allow them a common sense advice.
Yeah.
Skip
No,
with
Jean was first.
No,
I didn't get my hand up.
I was
Councillor
just
Daniel.
thinking about the members will not be allowed to remove papers from the office. But if people are going to photocopy items, such as contract leases or whatever, if that's going to be allowed, taking the point that you were making about you came in and took information, if that is going to carry on, should in fact there be a book
Control.
so that there was evidence of who photocopied what, if it was felt that it might lead to something? Because you've got a photocopy there, somebody might just photocopy something. And this thing about confidentiality is, for us, I feel we're all sort of well aware of what's confidential and what's not. But people do talk to other people about things that aren't confidential. They don't see the papers, but the very fact that people know about something, they will talk about it. And I don't think you'll ever stop that, because it's, you know, it's just as it is. And it's like the task and finish group paperwork. I think that was a problem at one time, wasn't it? about it.
It
People
was
were
the
looking at it.
neighbourhood plan.
Yeah,
draft
neighbourhood
report,
plan, that you've got
but
to.
it wasn't even marked on
No,
the
and things like that will happen. So if you really want to have this thing about confidentiality, you've either got to, I mean, at the council, it used to be a cross in light underneath the paper that it was confidential, as opposed to a red sheet that when you try and photocopy it, you can't see a bloody thing. Which is really confidential.
Thank you. Councillor Skipper?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't know how long I've been here now, over a year anyway, isn't it? Is it 2 years? Two. I had no idea that I could come in and look at papers. So that's the first thing.
No, I didn't.
The second thing is, some of these things that shouldn't be removed, I firmly believe that, because we've seen MPs, we should know better, letting other people read exactly what's on and take photographs and things. And some things I think should not be on public display unless somebody comes in and asks to have something explained. And if it's allowed to be explained, then they get it. And I'm not convinced that we should be letting people take things out. Because as they say, thy friend has a friend and thy best friend has a friend and a friend and a friend, and it just spreads. And that's how bad things get around this town.
Okay.
I think, and what, if I could just say, is that if we went there and we said, could we look at the clerk's contract and make a copy, the clerk would say no.
No.
But everything else relating to the council is a public document,
Right.
and that's the
Only
issue.
after they've been passed.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Thank you.
No, this is a public document now.
Excuse me. Joy, is there anyone that's been polite and doing anything in front of the book?
Can I say to Anne, if any member of the public wanted to know what the terms were of a lease that we had with any of our customers, they could send a freedom of information request and we would have to answer it. So the fact that any of us look at those leases and have a copy of their leases there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of this arises from the fact that when we started with Willowbrook and Alison took the file out with all the various clerks, the papers in the file were in an absolute muddle. They were all mixed up with one lease or the other lease, and it was absolute chaos. And Alison was busy, and I said, well, would you like me to sort it out? And rather than sit in here and sort it out, I took it home and sorted it out. And that is where all of this comes from. I didn't know that this was not.
I didn't know I've seen her. I didn't know we were allowed to see things.
Yeah,
Right,
but
I'm going to stop. We're going around in circles
Can
now.
I just say, I apologise that I didn't know that this was not the way to
Well,
go.
I
And
think
Alison
we
didn't
should
say, no,
do
you
it.
can't do that. So we did it. It was one day, it was a
Proposing
job
we look
done.
to this part section.
Okay.
We're going to some
Yes,
artists.
I
was just
Because you see, I didn't even know that.
You didn't
Very
know?
quickly. Right.
Jeremy, I'll try and I'll take on board what members said. First of all, I'll just pick up on Martin's thing. Taking papers out, and this was not by any means a dig at you. We were just trying to get it ready for the next council, get everything sorted out. So it wasn't a dig at you whatsoever.
No, but
Taking papers out. The only thing there was, what we're saying is, if you came into the council, and I didn't, let's not go there. If you came in, if a member came in and picked up a document, we'll just say you took a file home and lost it, then we would be in deep doo.
Yes.
And that's what we're saying. If you're not, you can't come in and take papers. If you want, and same for the leases. Why would you want to come and take a lease home with you? If you want to research something, then
Right.
let the clerk know. She'll make it available. That's all we're saying. We're just trying to make things, in fact, easier for ourselves. One of the things that we did talk about, which we haven't discussed here, we're going to look at if we ever get another meeting before we go to, was actually looking at organising